what motive there might have been to kill your brother.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of all of this, because my brother stayed in the house, you know, I asked Hollie at the very beginning, I says, is Roy involved in this as well? And she said, no, you know. So it really wasn't till, you know, so afterwards when I started sort of like asking her again, that she told me that Roy had caught her and her father together. Now, I had to establish when this happened. So we had this huge holiday in Canada, because my husband was working over there, and I said to her, was it before the holiday in Canada, or was it after? And she said that it was after the holiday in Canada, right? Now, we came back from that holiday the end of September of 97, and my brother was found in the burnt-out car on the 17th of November. So that's basically a space of 6 weeks.
So Hollie said that your brother found your father, sorry, your husband,
yes,
abusing her.
Yes, that's right, yes.
And presumably said something about that.
Yes. Well, do you want to tell him what Roy said to your dad? Go on then.
You'll have to be quick because we're going to go to a break.
Okay.
But what did he say?
Do your finger again, I will kill you.
Lay a finger again and I will kill you. That's what your uncle said to your father. And then your uncle and your brother was found dead with a broken skull, 3 broken ribs and a broken sternum.
That's correct.
And bruising, extensive contusions.
Yep.
Very shortly afterwards. And the police, presumably you've asked the police to reinvestigate this?
Yes.
And their response?
No response whatsoever.
No response. Okay, we're going to go for our final break now. Once again, if you'd like to text in your questions or comments to Robert Green, Anne and Hollie Greig, please do so now. I will read some out. Just text 87778 with the word EDGE and then your text. See you back here soon. Welcome back to On the Edge with me, Theo Chalmers, and my special guests, Robert Green, Anne Greig and Hollie Greig. Okay, just before the break then we were talking about what happened to your brother. And the reasons why you feel he was murdered, if indeed he was murdered. And the fact that you've reported it to the police again, and I think it's something you've done, isn't it, Robert?
Yes, it is, yes.
Can you describe that?
Yes. Well, I've reported it to the to Grampian Police on more than one occasion, and to the Crown Office as well, who are supposedly there to look after justice and to protect the people of Scotland. Okay.
And what has been the response?
Nothing. I've heard nothing.
Well, they haven't even bothered to come back to you?
No. Apart from I had one letter from the Crown Office acknowledging that they take these things very seriously, which is dated the 18th of November 2009. But
so seriously, they haven't bothered to write to you since?
So seriously, they haven't bothered to write to me since. And I have actually asked them if they have done anything. When I was last in Scotland a few days ago, when I was incarcerated again, I asked them if anything had been done.
How can, I've got to ask this question, how can, and of course you're not really qualified to answer it, but it's kind of out there in the universe, isn't it? How can the Scottish legal system countenance accepting a verdict of suicide on somebody who is in a burning car with a fractured skull, multiple contusions, a broken sternum and 3 broken ribs in a car that hasn't been involved in a motor accident?
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I've been beaten up almost to death, I'm going to kill myself.
Exactly.
By drinking something I don't like and setting fire to myself so I burn to death.
Yes.
It's not very likely, is it?
It's not very likely at all. Not at all likely.
So what is your opinion of the people who have allowed this to happen? This inaction?
Yes, I think they're actually a disgrace. They're a disgrace. They are there to look after justice, to protect the interests of the people of Scotland, and I think they have betrayed that trust and that responsibility. And that is one of the reasons that I've put myself forward to stand for the constituents of Aberdeen South, to try and do something about this terrible situation, if I'm given the opportunity.
Okay, so you're standing for Parliament.
Yes, I am.
With 6 others.
Yes, that's right.
Including the sitting Labour Member of Parliament.
Yes.
And Begg.
Yes.
But you're not allowed to campaign This is a first in British democratic history, isn't it? That
Yes.
a prospective parliamentary candidate is legally prohibited from campaigning
Yes.
in the seat in which he'd like to become
Yes.
the MP.
Not only that, but I'm also prevented from personally putting the issues before the electorate. I believe this has never happened before in Britain, as you rightly say.
In what way are you prevented?
I'm gagged from actually speaking. Theoretically, I'm gagged from speaking about this.
This is under Scottish law.
Under Scottish law. But I believe it is an abuse of the law.
I think it's important to say that we're not encouraging our guest to speak about anything that he's constrained from speaking about.
And
hopefully we're under English law here.
we are under English law, yes, under which we should have protection from abuses of Scottish law, as I understand it.
Okay, so you've got some notes here.
I have got some notes, yes, and I won't make this too obvious because I don't want to cause any problems for anyone. But what I would say is that I have a good reason to believe that both of my arrests were at the behest directly of the governing party in Scotland, the Scottish Nationalist Party, because the documents I have here would be devastating for certain members of the party, senior members of the party. And that is why every effort has been made to shut me up and conceal the facts from the people of Scotland. It is for them to judge, not for the politicians to put the lid on this story by threatening people like myself.
Well, I noticed that although the media has been incredibly reluctant to cover this story, and I know at one time the BBC was going to make a programme about you, and then for some reason...
Yeah, pulled out. We had a commission from the BBC for a half-hour programme in Scotland, and then a half-hour programme in radio, and then to go national to Panorama.
So you were going to go on Panorama, and then suddenly it all disappeared?
About a week after we got the commission.
Well, it was long after we got the commission. The commission was actually at the end of April. It was June,
That's
about
right.
6-7 weeks after the commission.
Because they came down to Shropshire, interviewed Hollie, interviewed myself, saw all the documentation that we had, and then the next thing was I got a phone call from the guy who was making the programme, and he said, "I'm very sorry, but we can't go ahead with the programme." He says, "Because if we go ahead, we're going to lose our jobs."
You were told that?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
and they told Robert that as well.
that's rather shocking, isn't it, if indeed it is true. I was trying to find an article from the Scotsman, I think it was a couple of days ago, that I printed out, that actually did cover this story, which is...
unusual.
Yeah, very unusual.
A start, isn't it? And
The Scotsman, what you must understand, the Scotsman's the only paper in Scotland that is not governed by Leaving McRae.
Well, yes, the same firm of lawyers not only represent the Scottish Government, but represent all the leading media outlets in Scotland as well. Quite apart from Hollie's case or any other case, this has to be totally against the interests of democracy and a free press. It must be.
Okay,
but that is the situation that exists in Scotland.
Okay, this article in the Scotsman, that's dated 21st of April, so it's yesterday. And it says, wannabe MP who's banned from Scottish seat he wants to represent.
Yes.
So I guess people are becoming aware.
They are, yes.
In Scotland. So tell me about the things that have been put in your path then, Robert, if you would.
Well, basically the things that have been put in my path are actually the 2 arrests that were made against me. But there's something before I perhaps go into it. I do want to clear up possibly a lot of speculation that is incorrect, and that is about the conduct of the Grampian police who actually personally dealt with me. And I think it's very important to be fair. A lot of people have suspected that I was treated badly by the officers with whom I had direct contact, both en route and in the police station in Queen Street in Aberdeen as well. But I have to say that at all times the officers, both in February and recently, have been correct with me at all times. And in fact, I would say that the 2 officers who came down to Warrington to arrest me last week and take me up to Scotland behaved correctly and considerately to me at all times. They were very good indeed and a credit to the police force, and it would be very unfair to label officers of the Grampian Police Force about this.
Well,
not fair.
I think that's very noble of you to say that, and
Well, it's true. We're here to be fair. We're here to be fair. We will make allegations and attack people when we feel justified. We will also give credit to people, and that's it. And we will dispel any misunderstandings or any wrong assumptions made by people who would like to support us. And I can understand why they may feel that way. Well, but I just want to make that public.
Well, I think that's fine that you've made that point, and well done to those police officers for treating you.
Yes, they're a credit to the force.